From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big day here at noontime on LA with perhaps the biggest update of your fourth stimulus check of 2021 in several days as part of the recon bill is released. OMG, I have the deliciousness of the recon bill. The first 600 pages are released and it's checks for the American people. Lots of them, and checks for things we have not heard about since 2020. Can I say the words? Hazard pay. Wow. And then at Purple Hawks, you're going to get incredible sums of money. I'm going to show you the sums of money in this recon and the checks at issue. Then we cut to the surprising announcement from Joe Manchin minutes ago. I'll be going over Joe Manchin's comments and Bernie Sanders' comments and my analysis of the situation. Then we'll be cutting to the recon and what's happening next as the finish line's in front of us. The tow hitch has been hitched up to that tow truck, and here we go. It's a noontime like you've never seen before because there's a lot of breaking news, and it's happening right now, live from Santa Monica on LALATE. Hey, good news, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day across the land. And thank you for joining me live. I'm in Santa Monica, California, where the weather is gorgeous, a little bit muggy, but clear and breezy. The surf is up, and so is the stimulus. Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. In this first stimulus check update of 2021, it is an update like you have never seen in several days. So much happening as Congress releases the first 600 pages of the recon bill. Yes, I have it for you. And can we say the words hazard pay? Oh, I feel so wonderful to say that. Oh my goodness. Lots of checks for the American people, checks that Purple Hawks are going to kill for. Then I cut to the surprising hash of words between Bernie Sanders and Joe Manchin minutes ago. This happened since the morning's broadcast and since the afternoon's LA show has been taped. So this is breaking news minutes ago. I'll have all the explanation of what's at issue and what you need to know. Then we cut to the recon and why this is going to be the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel and why the finish line is just in front of us. So much happening in a very jam-packed show in which I may have to take out fifth stimulus. But this is noontime LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. So you learn about all the big sums of money available for you under third stimulus starting right now. Meantime, if you haven't signed up for those LA alerts, please do so. It's in the description of this video. It's at news.la.com, so you get an alert when something happens, and this was the show to be alerted about because there is so much happening at noontime today. You would have gotten an alert that looks like this. Make sure you go into those LA alerts, put your name and email address in. It's totally free, and then you're ready to rock and roll. And with that, let's cut to the deliciousness of this recon with those stimulus checks. Democrats across the board want to give you a stimulus check. AOC and Omar, $2,000 a month. House Ways and Means, monthly stimulus check. House bill we'll get to in a second, but then we have the senators. Warren, Sanders, and Wyden all calling for a monthly stimulus check, and then the one that's captivated a country has been that House bill. Pandemic plus 1 year, which would amount to at least $13,000 of checks. Let's look at it, $1,000 a month. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House of Senate, House of Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from at noontime. Who gets that fourth stimulus check? Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check. Single individual, $75,000 or less. Married couple, $150,000 or less. Democrats represent you get one as well. Double it. Family of four. Democrats represent you would get one as well. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Democrats represent you get a fourth stimulus check as well. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And it will be the same amount for adult dependents and everyone else across the board. And finally, the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. So if you're at the beach this weekend and the check waves at you, that's not a U.S. check. It's a foreign tourist check. And if it kisses you on two cheeks, it's the Italian check. Grazie. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over the breaking news. Oh my goodness, there's so much of it. In fact, it may just start in just a second. Then in the third part of this video, we'll be going over the bill, which has now been released. My goodness. Can we say hazard pay? Oh my goodness. And then I go over the war of words between Joe Manchin and Bernie Sanders just minutes ago. Wow, there is a lot happening in this broadcast. But first, let's get some money. I think because of running time, I may not have time to do fist stimulus, but I do have time to get you money right now. Get a pen and paper ready because there's money available for you right now. And that money is real and available. It is third stimulus. You only need three things: a pen, a paper, and a cell phone. We're going to go over the inspiration story. Then we're going to go over the money. Then I'm going to go over how you can get it. And then for the first time at noontime, for the first time in many, many months, I'm bringing back other places to get these monies from you, for you as well. It's all new details. And then we're going to go over how much you can get as well. Let's start with the inspiration story. His name is Johnny. And Johnny started the week 2 weeks ago at $0 for this channel. But by the middle of the week, he and three other viewers got $40,000. It's real. And before the live chat even started, I saw someone send a very nice comment about what they got for Cow Fresh. So congratulations to that viewer as well. Johnny, by the middle of the week, got $40,000 with three other viewers. By the weekend, he got $80,000. How did he get $80,000? From 7 items, 7 phone calls, 7 places, 7 items. $12,000 for Snap, $10,000 for EIDL, $2,000 for taxes, $21,000 for rent, then another $26,000 for rent, then $9,000 for electric, and then $50 for internet and telephone, bringing his grand total to $80,000. You can get this money as well. I'm going to show you in a second. But the spirit of this channel is helping people, and that's what Johnny did the next week. He turned around and told his friends and family about this channel. Tell your friends and family about this channel because people are getting big sum of money. His friends and family got $100,000 the next week as well. He says, because of you, I have helped 5 friends save their homes and put food on their table. Wow, great job. And 3 family members have gotten incredible sums of money. 2 got $41,500 and the other one got $57,600. That's $100,000. It's been amazing to see people stop stressing about bills. Your channel, LALATE, has helped others and myself tremendously. You are such a godsend. Purple Power, Purple Hawk, thank you for your very kind words. This is real and this is happening right now. Let's go over first the monies you can get: rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgages, utilities, Snap, and more. Let's first look at the rent. The numbers for rent are going through the roof. Have you become a Purple Hawk? Have you subscribed? Today is the day to do so because people are getting big sums of money daily now, still, from these sums of money. For the rent, people are getting in excess of $27,000. Look at these numbers. Incredible. $27,000, $25,000, $24,000, $22,000, $20,000 for rent. This can be you. I'm going to show you how in about 10 seconds. Then utilities. Johnny getting $9,000 for utilities, water, electric, heating, oil. You can do this as well. Then money for food. You're going to meet someone in a second who got $25,000 lifetime because of this channel for food, because he became a viewer, a subscriber, and a member. Then we have the wonderful Nisi who's in all the live chats. She's so kind. She got 3 items for this channel, got $23,000. Art Sullivan, who got 3 items. Then Nancy got 3 items at $32,000, and Mark at 2 items at $32,000. Mark is such an inspiration because guess what? 4 wonderful things happened for Mark. 1, in less than 5 days, because of my prodding on camera, Mark got Snap. He got Snap in less than 5 days. Incredible, great news. Number 2, he pushed to get more than 3 items. He's now gained several items. Number 3, he told his neighbor and friend about this channel. And that friend and neighbor got $20,000 of rent. It's happening daily. It should happen to you. Tell your friends and family about this channel. New details are Kyra got $17,000. Valerie got $9,000. Dawn Reaney got 4 items. And Deborah got $6,000 a year for Snap. And then the notion of telling your friends and family to get these money is working. Shanann, Purple Hawk of 2 months, told her friend about, hey, LALATE, I told my friend about you, and she went on, and now she's addicted to your channel. Well, thank you. And that friend got $9,000 for rent, $5,000 for utilities, and $6,000 for Snap. That's $21,000. Congratulations also to Dawn, Mary, and Becca Legan, who report they got money as well. And finally, Mark got that Snap. He got $19,000 Snap, bringing Mark's grand total on this channel to $50,500 because you deserve this. You deserve $50,500. You can get this as well. And guess what? The sky is the limit because while Mark got $50,500, there's Lorraine, who got $106,000 because this is what I do. This is LALATE. I launched this channel never to track a check. We are not here to track your check. I am not a counter. I'm not a stopwatch. I'm not a UPS tracking system. No. I'm here to get you cash. And I've been doing it since day one. People had applied for that EIDL loan and EIDL grant in April of last year, March of last year, and they were not getting approved. So I helped show them how to get their applications approved one after another, getting viewers $25 million of EIDL loans approved. Then the same day, the 24th, I started detailing a program that was about to go live on the 28th. In some states, other states like Florida and Texas were delayed. That program, PUA, brand new, very confusing application. Show viewers how to do this application one at a time on camera. Got viewers like Eileen Bellicamp out of Florida, $15,000. I started doing PPP applications on air, UI applications, and we continue. But in fall of December of 2020, second stimulus was not coming. It was proposed in May, did not happen in May, June, July, August, or September. Viewers waited 8 months for the HEROES Act to provide a second stimulus check. It never came. So I stepped forward and I got people rent, $250,000 for it. Like Tyrone and his family for out of Boston, I showed them how to get this big money, and they paid all their rent to the new year. Now we're doing it more than ever before, and you can. Subscribe right now, hit that subscribe button, become a member. Let's go over the details, get that pen and paper ready, and that cell phone. First, I'm going to show you some introductory remarks of how to do this. Second, I'm going to show you where you reach out to and the words you say. And third, for the first time on Noontime for many, many months, I'm bringing back some alternate sources to get money for in case you get into trouble. All right, let's go over all the details. First, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. All 6 have money for you. If one says no, reach out to the next. You must reach out to 6 of 6. Don't reach out to 1 of 6. Number 2. Each place has different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next. Number 3, each place has their own pot of money. Number 4, it's important you use the keywords you hear in this video. And number 5, every state has money. All right, here are the 6 places you reach out to. If I go too fast, you can always replay the video. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. Your state hall, and your state house authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. And you got this. Congratulations, Tim and Linda, who got this wonderful pot of money as well. If you got the money for rent or utilities, post in the live chat. Now, for utilities, you also want to reach out to every single one of your utility companies. So if you have 5, reach out to all 5. Utility assistance because of COVID. That's why Johnny got 7 items. He kept on reaching out to each different place. Finally, if you have tried the 6 places for rent and you really do think you did it right and you got 6 no's, then here are some backups from organizations, private organizations who paid a lot of money for rent or utilities or mortgage assistance to viewers of this channel in 2020 and early 2021. They are Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul, United Way, and Salvation Army. And there you go. The next part of the money is the money for SNAP. It comes from the Department of Agriculture, and eligibility is easy. If you got a third stimulus check, you likely qualify for SNAP. You reach out to them. How much does it pay? It pays a lot. Lynn Glenn got it for herself and her son or mom. Gail got it as well, and Mark got $19,000, but he's now going to get $25,000 each year, a lifetime, because of me. This is incredible. Why this is happening? Because the Department of Agriculture announced that everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% lifetime automatically starting in October. Wow, that's incredible. Great news. If you got this money for SNAP, post in the live chat right now. The next spot of the money is the refund check coming back from your state due to overpayment of unemployment benefits and a computer error. Average payment is $2,000 to $5,000. Viewers have been getting this. It's coming from your state. Reach out to them for tracking. And finally, the last payment is the refund check coming back from IRS for the taxes you paid on that 2020 tax return. Margaret got it, Michael got it. The average payment is anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000. It lands by direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. More about that in a second, but here's a personal message. I launched this channel to give people money. Show them how to apply for things, get their applications approved, because 99.99% of all money on the first, second, and third stimulus is application-based. It's not automated. You have to pick up the phone at least and get that money. So jump in the live chat right now and post your success story, like that wonderful viewer who started the live chat by posting his or her success story for CalFresh, which is absolutely so inspirational. When you do, you inspire people. You help people so much. The spirit of this channel is helping people. When you do, you inspire people to pick up the phone and call. The money for rent is real. It's a lot of money. The money for utilities is going higher, as you see from Johnny. The numbers at Nisi got 3 items, inspired people like Art Sullivan, and Nisi and Art Sullivan inspired other people to get 3 items, 4 items. Now Johnny gained 7 items. And finally, we realized the numbers are going bigger and bolder. Inspire people. Post your success story right now. And then let's cut back to those unemployment benefits. Direct deposit otherwise in the mail? Yes. And can you track them? Go to irs.gov, do a transcript search. And 70% of the time it'll work. It'll reveal the refund check you're getting and the tax return and the taxes you paid. And with that, we go into the second part of this video, starting right now, with a lot of breaking news. I'm going to go a little bit off a script, so we'll see what our running time is. But I'm going to start right now. Before I start, you'll notice something. Number one is that the comments in this channel have now been turned off. I turned the comments off. I'll be addressing that later in this video. And if anyone posts any fake facts in the live chat, hashtag Purple Patrol, tag LALATE, and tell me the name of the person. All right, let's go over first the recon. And let's go over what has happened in the last 24 hours, because there's a lot that has happened. First, a recon has passed. The recon procedure has passed $3.5 trillion to the American people. All checks for the American people, the biggest recon we've ever had. That recon passed in the month of August, but it functionally passed 2 months earlier. Democrats, including Joe Manchin, met in private in the month of June and July and agreed to do a recon of $3.5 trillion. They verbally agreed to it, then it was written in a bill format, and then it was called for a vote, and it passed. In fact, Joe Manchin voted in favor of it. That recon procedural done deal means that it would be a recon, it would be $3.5 trillion, and it would be all checks to the American people. Prior stimulus packages were mostly for corporate America. That's the tow hit. That's the tow truck. The tow truck has passed over the finish line. It's very different from the infrastructure, which is the roads and bridges. The roads and bridges, as I've detailed on this channel, is a separate body of legislation. They put the roads and bridges into the bipartisan, leaving us with 2 paths that we have to do. Path number 1, your recon. That is your money. Reconciliation is also called. Price tag $3.5 trillion, also called the Democratic Spending Plan, or the Democratic Spending Plan, or the Progressive Social Reform Plan. Price tag $3.5 trillion, also called the Social Reform Plan. Bipartisan, not your money. Infrastructure, price tag $1.5 trillion. That's the roads and bridges. We start this week with just 2 things left to be done. It's incredible, great news. Those 2 items left to be done are the recon substantive and the bipartisan. We've done the recon procedural. So what does recon procedural do versus recon substantive? Let's go over the analysis of that starting right now. So recon procedural asks the question, will we be doing a recon? Yes, $3.5 trillion. Is money going to be split among the committees? Yes, $10 here, $20 there. That's done. That's already law. So now they're doing a recon substantive, which is how are the committees going to spend the money? And this is why Purple Power seats for stimulus is so important, because we're pushing to ensure they spend the money the right way. And with that, let's cut in a sort of off the book, sort of free for different type of recording starting right now, because guess what? Your recon bill in part has been released. Wow, this is the moment you've been waiting for. The excitement's here. And the first 600 pages of your reconciliation budget bill has been released. This is a big moment for this channel. Let me explain why 645 pages have been released and not, 6,000 pages. The recon bill, we don't have a page running limit number at the moment, but it looks like the recon bill may be about 8,000 to 10,000 pages. What are these 645 pages and why just 645? It is the pages that derive from the oral agreements already done. The way Democrats do legislation with fellow Democrats, there's no Republicans involved, is they have these face-to-face meetings in their offices. Not on the House, not on the Senate floor, not on the House floor. It's not live streamed on C-SPAN. They go to their office and say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Until they reach an oral agreement. Once they have the oral agreement, that's the finish line. They're over the finish line. Once they have the oral agreement, they say, go write this up. We've already agreed upon this. We're done with this item. We're going to go to the next stuff that we haven't yet agreed upon. So these 645 pages are the items they've agreed upon. These are the items that if they were to call vote, they think it would pass right today because there's agreed upon provision for these items. They're still, however, going over the items that they haven't agreed upon. But let's go to the excitement of this bill starting right now, and I'm going to go a little bit slower through it. I feature it more on Afternoons LA coming up at 3 o'clock, and of course, Evenings LA tonight. So the 645 pages has exactly what I told you it would. Checks. Lots of checks. So let's step back for just a second. Is it going to be a recon? Well, they already passed the recon procedurally. Will it have checks in there? A fortune of checks. Will there be automated IRS checks? That's to be seen. Will it have checks for me? Absolutely. Confirmed. Done. It's here. It's in here. Let's go over some of the checks that are in this recon for you. Now, this is just 600 pages of 8,000 pages. So we have a lot of other things. If these are the first few and you get excited, imagine when you see the rest of them. Hazard pay. Hazard pay, baby, is back on lifetime. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's back up. Hazard pay was introduced in 2020 in its own format, but eventually got introduced into something that had pre-existed as an earned income tax credit, but got modified for purposes of hazard pay individuals in third stimulus. The bill passed earlier this year codified third hazard pay into something called a modification of the earned income tax credit. This was generally how it was written. It generally said that if you're a single individual and you work as an essential worker and you're an age of this or higher, so they lowered the age, they made more people eligible, and they raised the income qualification so more people were qualified by income and more people qualified by age, then you would get an earned income tax credit. Again, single individual, essential worker, and it was somewhere I think about 18 or older that make less than $25,000, you would get this earned income tax credit. It's incredible. But the third stimulus only made it law for a short duration, a temporary duration. Guess what? Fourth stimulus is proposing to make this hazard pay earned income tax credit a lifetime. So if you work as an essential worker, make less than approximately $25,000 every year, you are going to have a lifetime earned income tax credit so long as you continue to work at that place of work. This is big news for so many viewers of this channel. Congratulations. Next, a lot of you are care providers for seniors. And while the language is not in front of us because we just have a summary, it's proposing a massive check or tax credit to people who are care providers for seniors or people who are sick, upwards of $4,000 per year. Yeah, this is, we're only a few minutes of this video. The numbers are going high already. Yeah, there we go. Third, and I'm not leading with this for a reason because a lot of people don't want to hear about the children, but here are the children. $300 a month, every month for 18 years for children. Making the child tax credit, the $300 monthly stimulus check for children from third stimulus, a lifetime monthly stimulus check. If you have ever seen a monthly stimulus check at MSC like this one is not just MSC for a few months. It's a lifetime. A generation. 18 years until they become of an adult age. $300 a month for the child tax credit. Wow, that's $3,600 basically times 18 years. You can do the math. That's a lot of money. That's an insane amount of money. The numbers continue. Let's go over some of the other items. There is money to fix your home. And I get that question a lot. They will offer new incentives to rehab homes in poor neighborhoods. There will be lots of grants for students. The Pell's education grants will become completely tax-free. And then there's stuff that none of us care about. Hydrogen energy production. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I got to throw that in just for the laugh. Okay, let's go to the other items that are in here as well. Let's see if I cover them all. I got the hazard pay. I got the child tax credit. Then the caring for the elderly, $4,000 a year. Incredible. Then you may have heard this on Friday. Electric vehicles, there'll be a big newer deduction bigger than ever before. If you buy an electric vehicle from the major 3 U.S. manufacturers, wow, it's going to be an enormous deduction. Then there is another tax credit for buying electric vehicles. Oh my, I did not see this. I did not see this before. A new tax credit for buying commercial electric vehicles. So if you have a small business and you need a commercial electric vehicle, there'll be a new tax credit for that. There'll also be a 15% credit for buying an electric bike. I have a lot of people always asking me about bikes, believe it or not. I don't know why. But 15% tax credit for buying an electric bike. Oh, this is just 600 pages. I don't know how they got this into 600 pages. It feels like 6,000 pages. There will be new deductions for charitable deductions, and there's going to be a lot of new endowments for students, fringe benefits for commuting by bike. They will give you new benefits if you go to work by bike. And there's more on top of that. A lot of details. And with that, can we top that? Yes. The Democrats are still pushing for those monthly automated IRS stimulus checks. And whether it's Jalopal or the House Ways and Means, let's look at who wants you to have those monthly stimulus checks. We have the House Ways and Means Committee. We have the AOC Omar Group, $2,000. We have the House bill, which is signed by nearly 200 Democrats in the House, and we have Warren, Wyden, and Sanders. Can we top that? Yes. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, we'll be going over everything else that's happening minutes ago. It's all incredible, great news. I'll be going over the Manchin versus Bernie war of words this morning. I'll be analyzing the situation for you, and then a personal message for you as well. And then we'll be cutting back to the recon and go over the meat and potatoes and the MSC. So much happening as I go off the book, but this is a day with a lot of breaking news. I told you the weekend was going to have a lot of breaking news. It's just always that way, isn't it? But first, if you haven't gotten money from third stimulus, please do. That money is available right now. It's a lot of money. I want you to get that money. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, State House Authority. Contact all 6 of 6. Contact all your utility companies, and then contact the nonprofits if those 6 of 6 did not work, which is rarely the case. And then after you've gotten 1 or 2 items, if you're having problems getting the others, here's the volunteers and the community page. I'll be back in 60 seconds with the big breaking details on this big noontime LALATE broadcast. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues noontime live from Santa Monica as the first 600 pages of the reconciliation budget bill is released. And more pages will be released this coming week, we believe as well, because guess what? That tow hitch is right at the finish line. That reconciliation pays a lot of checks, as you've already seen, from hazard pay to child care tax credit to senior care credits to money to buy bikes, money to buy electric vehicles, and money to buy commercial vehicles. Lots of checks, but I'm going to cover the other checks in the third part of this video. It's coming up, lots and lots of checks, plus the potential for an IRS MSC as well. Then we go over the Bernie versus Joe Manchin comments from minutes ago. I'm going to analyze the comments and also show you what they said. It's a very different noontime broadcast because there is so much breaking news. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Para, or Calcino VIP. It's important to understand the value of becoming a membership because members are delivered daily from me to you. A breakdown of all the big money under first, second, and third stimulus. If you're on the live chat and you see people have a Purple Hawk next to their name, they're Purple Hawk members. When January rolled around, I had a preview of what was to be in the third stimulus. Sort of just like right now, how I have a preview of the first 600 pages of what's in fourth stimulus. I immediately told you, hey, there's a lot of checks in there I can get you. And I said I can get you upwards of $14,000. There will be a stimulus check of $1,400 in the third stimulus package. But I said for third, I can get you other money as well, $14,000. Purple Hawks now understand that I've been able to get them $30, $40, $50, $100,000 from the third stimulus. So consider becoming a Purple Hawk today so you're delivered daily from me a breakdown of all the big money under first, second, and third. And you're going to be ready under fourth because all these details are going to be delicious. And I'm going to show you how to get all these checks for stimulus when this becomes law as well. And with that, in this slightly different noontime broadcast, I'm going to go right into the war of words that happened with Joe Manchin, and Bernie Sanders minutes ago. Let's go back to understand where we are right now. We have two parts of a recon. The first part is the recon procedural. The second part is the recon substantive. The recon procedural, Joe Manchin has already voted in favor of. It's already law that there will be a recon and it will be $3.5 trillion and the money is split among the committees. The second part is the recon substantive, how the committees spend the money. What has happened with Joe Manchin over the last year has been detailed extensively on this channel. I want to give you a background on Joe Manchin so you understand the context of today's events. In 2020, Joe Manchin said he was not going to give you the CR for stimulus, the $600 second stimulus check. He came out and said, I'm voting against it. He eventually voted in favor of it when it came to third stimulus. When it went to the Senate and they were dealing with a third stimulus check and the extension of unemployment benefits, he said no to everything. And eventually, no verbally, not on vote, no verbally, to press, news articles, and then when it came to him, he voted in favor of it. He did modify one item, which was the FPUC. I think the FPUC was supposed to be a little bit higher. He modified that, but he voted in favor of it as well. Joe Manchin has a long history of saying to press, I'm voting against things, but when he votes in favor of it. He has done it 100% of the time since this channel has existed, saying to press, I'm not voting in favor of it, and when it happens, he votes in favor of it. Now, let's focus on this recon and the bipartisan specifically as to Joe Manchin. The recon and the bipartisan, people always ask, why was this not done in July? Chuck Schumer originally said the vote for the recon would be done by July 4th. But the problem was that there was more than just one or two senators. There was a lot of senators who said, roads and bridges doesn't belong in a recon. It belongs somewhere else. Roads and bridges belong somewhere else. So they had to take the roads and bridges out and put it somewhere else. And they put it into something called the bipartisan. The bipartisan, by putting the roads and bridges there, was a way to, in essence, appease Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, saying, okay, I'm putting the roads and bridges in the bipartisan. You could do your bipartisan, and we'll all together we'll do the recon. It was a way to say, I'll give you this, and then you're going to support my recon. That was the deal. I'll give you the recon, I'll give you the bipartisan, and you'll support the recon. During that time frame, Joe Manchin said a few things. He initially, and I have the graphic, I'm not going to pull it up. He initially said, I'm not going to support the recon because the corporate tax rate was too high. It's 28%. I like 25%. And you remember my recordings. They were about July, where the president said, okay, I'll do 25%. Done. And you remember all those details that the president modified the amount. About 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, Joe Manchin had an op-ed in the Washington Post, said, I don't like the recon because it's going to raise the national debt. It doesn't raise the national debt. It's paid for by corporate taxes. And that's why the president's chief of staff appeared on broadcast media last weekend this guy, who's Ron Klain, and said, I'm not worried about Joe Manchin. He literally said, I'm not worried about Joe Manchin because he talked about raising the national debt. We're not raising debt to pay for the recon. So what happened this morning? This morning, CNN had both Bernie Sanders and Joe Manchin on, not at the same time, but just, in different rooms. All the blunt instruments around the table. And they had them in different places. And the question was to Joe Manchin, when you get the recon, referring to, of course, the recon substantive, because he's already voted in favor of the recon procedural, would you vote in favor of it or against? And guess what he said? No. He said, no, I'm not going to vote in favor of it. Now, again, this is the guy that has said a gazillion times for every single thing that we've ever had on this channel, no to press, but when the vote happens, he votes yes. But let me give you his quotes so you can assess it with me and do the analysis together. This is what he said. Chuck Schumer knows he will not have my vote on the $3.5 trillion, and Chuck knows that. We've talked about this. We've already put $5.4 trillion into the American people, and we've tried to help Americans get every way possible can, and they got a lot of help, so we put it out there. And is there still going to run clear into next 2022? So what is the urgency? What's the urgency that we have? This is Joe Manchin talking. It's not the same urgency we have with American Rescue Plan. We got that out the door. It was about $2 trillion. Then he says, something's not matching up. We've done an awful lot, and there's still a lot of people that are in need, but there's still 11 million jobs that aren't being filled right now, and 8 million are still unemployed. So something's not right. I have a comment about that right there. So he's saying that at least in the interview, he would vote against it because there's 11 million jobs that have been created, and that 8 million people are not taking those 11 million jobs, and that because of that, he wants to cut off unemployment. He doesn't want to vote in favor of the recon. It doesn't make a sense because the recon is not about unemployment benefits. The recon is not extension of FPUC or PUA. There's nothing about unemployment benefits in the recon. It doesn't make sense. Then he goes on and say, we don't know about inflation. It's running rampant right now. I can tell you West Virginia, where inflation is running rampant. And on top of that, the challenges we have, geopolitical challenges, shouldn't those be prepared? Again, saying that he doesn't want to support the recon because of inflation. The recon is being used to battle inflation. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. Then he goes after Nancy Pelosi. He says that I've been working with these people. I'm going to talk with these people, but it doesn't make no sense what we're doing right now. All right. Then came Bernie Sanders. Thank you, Bernie, for saving us. Bernie Sanders came out and started swinging in the same interview. He says, it is not acceptable what Joe Manchin has said. I don't think it's acceptable for the president, acceptable to the American people, or to the overwhelming majority of the people in the Democrat caucus. Look, we've worked with Senator Manchin to pass the $1.5 trillion American Rescue Plan, that's third stimulus, which was enormously consequential and helped to working class families get us out of the economic disaster that beguiled us during the COVID. I believe we're going to all sit down and work together and come up with a $3.5 trillion recon, which deals with the enormous unmet needs of working families. And then he was asked about time frame. He says, I don't think a few days is a concern, but there is a sense of urgency. We need to get this done. And there you go. So why am I running the quotes? You know how I do my recordings. In the last year, in 2020, I had a key expression on this channel. And remember what it was? It was the Temple of Doom, where I said, I'm not going to refer to the Temple of Doom because her notion was something that was sort of separated from reality. And in much of 2021, I never really addressed Joe Manchin because he said he was going to vote against third stimulus. And when the voting happened, he voted in favor of third stimulus. When second stimulus was on the hot burner, he said he was going to vote against second stimulus, and he didn't. He voted in favor of second stimulus. So ultimately, why am I running one of the quotes? Because if I don't run the quotes, someone's going to say, "Why didn't you not run the quotes?" I mean, that's basically why. Am I concerned about Joe Manchin? No. Is Ron Klain, the president's chief of staff, worried about Joe Manchin? No, I'm not worried about Joe Manchin. I'm not worried whatsoever. Let's understand what Joe Manchin is proposing. What Joe Manchin is ultimately proposing is that a recon and a bipartisan roads and bridges all never happen. Not that you don't get a stimulus check. He just wants to blow up $5 trillion of two different bills completely. So there's nothing for anything of any sort. He wants to literally take two bills and throw them in the wastebasket. Not just your stimulus check from IRS. Everything. He is resting his hat, perhaps, in the notion that there will be a way to get the roads and bridges done, but not without the recon. Not going to happen. The Democrats have that protected like Fort Knox for you. Nancy Pelosi, the president, Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders all have very well protected that the game playing of Josh and the problem creators of 2021 that try to do roads and bridges and throw away our recon, never going to happen. So I just had to I had to cover this for you so you see what's at issue. Now let's turn to the substance of the recon. The meat and potato of the recon is application-based, non-automated stimulus. You've been doing this since day one. In first and second stimulus, this channel helped you get money for EIDL grants, PUA, UI, PPP. Then we went over SNAP and EBT and hazard pay, earned income tax credit, and children's checks, and all these different types of items that you have to do something for. And along the way, there have been some people that sort of came from, I don't know where they came from, that thought that first, second, and third, and certainly fourth is only automated stimulus. It never was that way. The vast meat and potatoes of all these stimulus packages was never automated. Automated is where you look, the federal government can look at you and say, I know you need this, I can send it out to you. Well, when you look at the proposed items, not in this one, which I just went over, which is actually a bill. When we look at the other proposed items, there's no way for IRS to know you need these things. And that's why IRS can't pay you them by automation. Free school meals for all, checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for clean energy, checks for workers like independent contractors, checks for seniors, checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for hearing care, checks for lowering eligibility age. Lots of checks. Every viewer of this channel, unless you make potentially over $80,000 an individual or over $150,000 a married couple, is going to be ready to get big sums of checks under this forced stimulus recon. You have seen in the proposed items, which I just went over, and the actual first 600 pages of the bill that have been released, that you may qualify for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different checks. Those checks will require you to pick up the phone and say, hi, I qualify for this check. Or will require you to do something like file a tax return or put it on the tax return or list it on the tax return. More than just an automated payment from IRS. Automation was never the meat and potato of forced stimulus. And so what you need to understand is right now that recon, a fortune, 3.5 trillion of it, lots of checks, bread and potato, that is all confirmed. What is not confirmed is the final push, which of course is that MSC. Democrats have been pushing to ensure that MSC is in there. And the number one guy who appeared to defend the recon this morning, Bernie Sanders, his insight is that, yes, you would get an MSC. He's not alone. We have AOC, we have Omar, we have the House bill signed by 100-plus House Democrats, and we have Warren Wyden also calling for a monthly stimulus check. But Bernie is perhaps the most interesting part of the equation. It was about 5 weeks ago, where I told the viewers of this channel to be advocates and pick up the phone and call. And that's what WR did. He picked up the phone and called Chris Coons, Senator, Democrat Chris Coons, spoke to his staffer. And advocacy of this channel, Purple Power, is about advocating. It's about advocating, saying, I need this. Not about a question mark. Not about question mark sentence. Not about a sentence with a question in it. It's about advocating. Say, I need a stimulus check. And Senator Chris Coons said yes. His staffer said to WR, yes, Senator Chris Coons is proposing a monthly stimulus check. Then Brother Joshua, a longtime viewer of this channel, Purple Hawk, and 2020 volunteers for the community page, helped a lot of people get a lot of money, picked up the phone and did what I said to do. Call Bernie Sanders. Why did Bernie Sanders ask for people to call? Because 2 weeks ago, he said, previous budget chairman did their own thing in DC. I like to get out amongst the people and hear from them. That means he wants to hear from you what your advocacy for is. Advocacy means advocating, saying something with an affirmative sentence, a period. And that's what Brother Joshua did. Called up and said, I want to advocate for a monthly stimulus check. Advocated in a professional, respectful, kindly way. Explained his situation, explained the importance of a stimulus check, and that's monthly. And the staffer told Brother Joshua, yes, Senator Bernie Sanders is proposing a monthly stimulus check if he has the backing of the American people. $1,000 to $1,400 a month, number one. Number two, that it would be monthly. Great news. Number three, that'll have a duration. Yes, great news. And that'll be 3 to 6 months. Great news. This is incredible. When you look at the House bill versus the Senate versus Bernie, the House bill, 12 months, $13,000. Bernie on the high end, 6 months, $1,400. That's about $9,000. Very well lined up. Finally, a message from that staffer to Brother Joshua, but he needs to have your support. Purple Power, we got this. We got this support. You pick up the phone, you call Elizabeth Warren, Chuck Schumer, AOC, Bernie, Ron Wyden, saying we need a monthly stimulus check. You see right now that tow hitch is in the front of the finish line because they've already agreed to the first 600 pages of the recon. Those are done. Those 600 pages have passed over the finish line. We're now doing the next 100 or 1,000 pages because it may be about an 8,000 page bill. We are just at the cusp of the finish line. We're almost done. Finally, a personal message from me to you. It's important to understand that this channel has always been the same way. It's about getting you money. It's not about tracking a check. It's not about tracking a check. This is not FedEx. This is not UPS. It's not about asking when does it automatically come in your bank account. First, second, and third stimulus was never about automated checks. They never were automated. Some people got used to the idea of automated checks along the path of the horizon. But that was never the meat and potato of any of the first, second, and third stimulus packages. And in recent days, some people have taken their fake narrative about automated checks to a level of real bad hate. And for that reason, the comments on this channel have been turned off temporarily by me. They have been attacking Brother Joshua, attacking me, attacking the community volunteers, attacking a dying man and his son on sirloin, attacking fellow viewers, and attacking anyone who likes the President of the United States or at least respects the President of the United States. What do their attacks say? Things like, there is no fourth stimulus check. Untrue. Things like the recon is never happening. Untrue. Things like, saying that Brother Joshua's conversation never happened. And they go to incredible lengths to bring hatred and anger upon other people. They also bring fake facts. They relish in fake facts. Their reason for bringing fake facts is they want you to believe that Joseph Biden will never give you a penny. Of course, he's going to give you a penny. He's going to give you a lot of pennies. And that makes them very upset. And for that reason, the comments have turned off. You also seen in the live chat, I have a new thing called Purple Patrol, hashtag Purple Patrol, where if someone brings into the live chat fake facts, then tag me, LALATE, in the live chat and indicate the person's screen name, and I will check whether they posted fake facts in the live chat. It's important to understand that this is a community of love. This is a community of help. People turn to this channel to get money, to find the money, to get assistance on the application, to get assistance on their money for themselves and their family. It is not a channel to track a check. It is not a channel to bring disdain and anger towards other people. You need to find love. You need to find your God or whatever it is, if that is the level of hate that you have in your heart, and you need to go elsewhere. And now for a short period of time, the comments are turned off and your hate will not be posted. This is a channel where people help each other, bring loveness and kindness to people. Like Hurricane Tina recently had an issue, and we brought a lot of love to her when she rejoined our chat. A lot of love to Sandy. She had something installed in her house the other day. We bring a lot of love to this channel. And you will not come into this channel and bring a level of disdain that is unacceptable simply because you don't like the President of the United States. The other place is where you belong. It's important to understand, number one, a recon has been passed procedurally. Number two, the recon substantive is at the edge of the finish line with the first 600 pages being detailed, and I'm going to detail more of them tonight on Edie's LA. And number three, that Joe Manchin has 3 times before said, I'm not voting for it, and has always voted in favor of it. I will not be going back over Joe Manchin at an exhaustive rate anymore. I wanted this video to be the opportunity. So if anyone says, whatever happened to Joe Manchin, you can refer to this video. I did the analysis once. I won't be going over Joe Manchin too much more because he's a non-issue. He's done this before. He wants these politicians live and breathe on publicity and attention. And he has done this before, and every time the vote has been a yes. And with that, I hope the vote is a yes for you. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Afternoons LATE at 1 o'clock. This video will automatically take you there. Then we go into the new Afternoons LATE at 3 o'clock, and then Evenings LATE tonight. Stay informed, stay focused, stay positive, stay motivated. Have a beautiful day. Hope your NFL team wins as well. And stay with LATE for more.